When nothing else makes sense, and you rule out everything that's impossible, what's left, however improbable, is more than likely the truth. And I think we're looking at it right here. The man on the left flawlessly executed a plan behind the scenes to put the man on the right in a position of power. Now, a lot of people would not be able to differentiate between the man on the left and any other Republican, but the man on the left pretty much created every other Republican as we've seen today. The Republican Party, prior to the man on the left, was not what it is today. There would have been no Tea Party without that guy. There would have been no Donald Trump, that's for sure. And the fact that they live pretty much walking distance to each other down in West Palm, Mar-a-Lago, I don't think is any coincidence. I think there were probably a lot of long nights, cigars smoked, and things talked about that led to the situation we're in now. But you see, Rush was smart enough to know that he needed to keep his fingerprints off everything. Because if he got attached to him in any real way, in any way more than what he would be any other Republican, it could have sunk him. It could have sunk him. And so I think he was very careful to stage this in a way that kept him out of it. Because if anybody who's listened to Rush talks about ideas. Rush really doesn't talk about emotions. In fact, he talks against emotions. It's his big issue with the Democrat Party is that they make their decisions based on emotion, not thought. But when we look at the guy on the right, all of his supporters make decisions based on emotion. So I'm wondering if this guy, after watching Obama win twice, the guy on the left speaking of, win with emotion-based support, decided to rip a page out of their playbook and say, you know what? We have an emotional base. We have a group of people in the Republican Party that are very much swayed by emotion, and they're not particularly bright. If we can get the right person up there who isn't going to ask them to think too much, like Mitt Romney did, like John McCain did, if we can get somebody up there with a WWE mentality, then you might have a shot. The ideas will come later, but the fight has to be won in the arena of emotions. And I think this is what's happened. You can say a lot about the guy on the left, but the fact that he's not a sharp cat isn't one of them. He really knew what he did here. And he was so smart. So smart to keep his fingerprints off of it. And not have any direct connection between the two. You know, people had even asked Rush a long time ago why he doesn't run. And I think the fact is that he has this deep-seated emotional resentment for the Republican Party because they don't see him as one of their own. I mean, they love the glowing praise, but he's also said quite a few negative things about the modern Republican Party. You know, he was a big supporter of the Tea Party movement, and, you know, I think he was the one that actually coined the term rhino. It's really an interesting dynamic to see that these two guys from Florida down here have been able to pull a fast one on the people in their own party, on the American people, and on the Democrats. I hate to say it, they got played badly. They really did. But unfortunately, America is the one that's going to suffer for it. So I'm trying to keep my videos down to a little bit less time because I really don't want people to think I'm a commentator or I'm a news guy or I'm some kind of savant. But if I see something that's undeniable, I'm going to make a video about it. And if you go back and look at what the man on the left has said about what he believes, and you look at the type of people the man on the right has been able to manipulate, you'll see this striking correlation between the behavior of both audiences. No one listens to Rush Limbaugh anymore because they think it's a good idea. They tune in because of how he makes them feel. Even though he talks about ideas, he talks about winning in the arena of ideas, to get viewership or to get listenership, And he said it a million times. You've got to be able to capture an audience and make them listen. And they're not going to think for very long, but they'll feel forever. And what's the old saying goes? Very few people will remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And that's what's going on, folks. The guy on the left and the guy on the right have finally made the die-hard, super right-wing people that have been ostracized and demonized over the last 8 to 10 years feel good about themselves for a minute. And that's what this is all about. They could really care less about the governance going forward. They really couldn't care about what happens next week, next year, 4 years from now. They wanted to feel good about themselves for a minute, and this is how they got it done. So, anyway, hoping everybody's having a great year so far. I'm going to try to do some more videos from different locations out here in Florida because it's a pretty place, and I figured why not share it. So, anyway, you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks.